Hello and welcome to Writing Today. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the benefits of having a writing journal and how to start one. If you want to read this blog post, you can find it on my website, thepensleuth.com. And if you are interested in professional writing courses or private coaching, then I recommend checking out my Writer's Workshop. There's a link to that in the description below, as well as a link to a free writing course should you want to see my teaching methods first. Now, having a journal is a great way to stay productive in any creative career or hobby. And a writing journal is also a powerful and therapeutic tool that will help you become a better writer. Whether you want to improve your writing skills or you want to record all your ideas, having a journal by your side is a fantastic idea. And if you're interested in starting a writing journal, here are some benefits to doing so, as well as tips to get you started. First of all, a writing journal will improve your writing skills. Regular journaling can help you improve your writing skills by providing a space to practice and experiment with different styles and techniques. A journal is accessible at any time. It's easier to crack open a journal and start writing than it is to boot up a laptop or PC and start your writing program. Whether you come across a new technique while reading or enjoying some other form of media, you can use your journal to take notes and practice your writing. It could be you setting a scene, trying a different style of narration, or breaking a few grammar rules in order to tell your story. There are so many methods and techniques out there that a writer is often adjusting their style to find something that works. If improving your writing skills is something you're passionate about, then starting a writing journal is a great idea. Another benefit is it will help you clarify your thoughts and emotions. Writing in a journal can help you process your thoughts and emotions and be a helpful way to work through any challenges or problems you may be facing. Sometimes it can be a chaotic experience writing a book, especially if you have many responsibilities that need your attention. One's mind easily fills with worries and concerns, not to mention ideas for writing, that get suffocated by these anxious thoughts. If you struggle with a chaotic mind, or are easily flustered when life throws way too many curveballs your way, then a writing journal can help you clear your head and maintain your passion. It helps to take a moment to address these thoughts, and there are a few ways as great as seeing your thoughts on paper. Any ideas you have will get written down, and once they are on paper, that's one less nagging thought to bother you. If you want to stay organized and make your writing process as efficient as possible, then having a writing journal is essential. The next benefit is it will help you record your creative ideas. It pretty much goes without saying. Ideas can hit you at any time, but they leave your mind just as quickly if you aren't quick enough to record them. That's why having a writing journal is a big deal for a lot of writers. One of the most common problems I hear from other writers and my students is that they have so many ideas and they don't know which one works best, or that idea is forgotten by the time they sit down to write. The problem is that they don't record these ideas. They just wait until they can write their novel and then try to remember. It's no wonder they are frustrated about forgetting great ideas and settling for mediocre ones. And you might be one of those writers who have many ideas, whether it comes from daydreaming or actual dreaming. If you have any thoughts and adjustments that need to be recorded, it will definitely help to have a writing journal by your side. Another benefit is it will help you reflect on past writing and analyze current writing. A writer rarely stops thinking about what they have written. Most will look at their past writing and see room for improvement. Even if they are satisfied with the writing quality, they might have a problem with the story or the characters. That is why so many writers struggle to finish a book, because they linger too long on what has been written and rarely push forward with their work. That's where a writing journal comes in handy. You can note down the important elements in your novel and get a simplified picture of what has been written and what needs to be written. From there, any major changes you make can easily be implemented. You can see which elements are affected by that change and which areas of your novel need to be adjusted. As for the writing quality, I believe every writer needs to accept that it is best to adjust your writing quality once the first draft is written. Don't waste your inspiration on looking back when you can be pushing forward. And having a writing journal is definitely a great idea if you plan to make adjustments to your story as you are writing it. The fifth and final benefit I'll talk about is how it will boost your productivity, a benefit that every writing journalist boasts. Not only do they have a great idea of what they are writing before they start, they also keep track of new ideas and techniques that help them write scenes effectively. A writing journal is more of a tool for your writing as a whole, not just for one project, as any ideas you have can pass forward into a sequel or can be used in another novel should you have plans to write a different story. A writing journal can be used for many things. Every writer has a different journal, a different structure. One can use it to keep personal ideas, many use it to keep their mind on writing, and many use it to keep them writing regularly. If you struggle to get the words out of your mind and onto paper, if you want to write more than you do already, then a writing journal will definitely help your productivity. And having now talked about the several benefits that come with having a writing journal, I'll be giving you some tips to start one of your own. Now, every writer will develop their own style and format for their writing journal, but these tips will help get you started and give you some ideas on what you can include in your writing journal. First of all, you need to find a journal that works for you. Choose a journal that feels comfortable and is appealing to you. It could be a leather-bound journal or a notebook. It could have lined pages or blank pages. Anyone can be presented with an array of journals and find one that they like more than all the others. It's also very important to consider the paper and not just the cover. If you like to be organized and write cleanly, then perhaps a lined journal will work better for you. If you are more artistic, blank pages might work as well, but also take note of the thickness of the page, especially if you plan to do more in the journal than doodle with a pen or pencil. You need to pick a journal that works well with you, not just looks good or feels good when you're working with it. My second piece of advice is to set aside time for journaling. Choose a regular time to write in your journal, whether it's once a day or a few times a week, or even just once a week. The key is to make it a consistent habit. You don't want your journal to be put aside for too long and just forget about it. The key is about making that time for yourself, whether you have to sacrifice some other bad habits or simply push back other responsibilities to a later time. And this is especially important if you don't plan to use your writing journal often and only when you need to. Making it a habit to use the journal will help you avoid slipping back into the routine of being without one. You need only decide the best times to use it, whether it's before or after you start writing, whether it's in the morning or in the evenings. Because making time for good habits is the best way to start them. My third piece of advice is to write freely. Don't worry about grammar or structure when you're writing in your journal. Just let your thoughts and feelings flow freely onto the page. A writing journal isn't a project, it isn't a chore. It is a personal tool, one that allows you to enjoy the best part of writing, the raw creativity. A journal makes for a nice break from professional restrictions when it comes to writing a novel or a short story. You can use the journal to talk informally about your story and writing, leaving little notes or jot down silly ideas. Whenever you force yourself to take journaling seriously, you'll find it to be a completely unpleasant experience, one that is just wasting your time. You want it to be an area where you are creatively free, and not a creatively stifling experience. My fourth piece of advice is to experiment with different writing prompts. If you have trouble getting started, try using a writing prompt to get your creative juices flowing. There are many writing prompts available online, or you can create your own. It could be anything from small poems to short stories. Not to mention, a writing journal is a great place to practice with a variety of ideas and styles. Use your journal to experiment with these prompts, even if you're just creating little character bios. And these inspirations can come from anywhere, be it from other books or from a movie you watched recently. Whenever a good idea hits you, you don't have to just make a small sentence, a small note on it. You can take the time to create an entire scene. My final piece of advice when starting your writing journal is to be consistent. Now, the more you write in the journal, the more you'll get out of it. Try to write in your journal consistently to make it a meaningful and valuable part of your writing experience. The one aspect of a writing journal you don't have to be consistent in is what you include in your journal. You can use it to jump from idea to idea. You can use it to create little character bios. You can use it to adjust your novel or plan a future novel. There are so many options to choose, and there aren't any rules. The most important thing is to be consistent, because as I said earlier, this is a good habit you don't want to slip out of. And now here are some of my thoughts on writing journals. I understand that writing journals aren't for everyone. Some people simply don't have the time or patience to deal with a writing journal, and they just want to tackle the writing whenever they have an opportunity to do so, and that's perfectly fine. But a writing journal, I feel, is a great tool for productivity. I have dabbled with a few writing journals ever since I started writing. In the beginning, I used them to do a lot of doodles and creative ideas, presenting it to myself in a more artistic way. But nowadays, I use it more for keeping track of my story and characters, details that I could easily forget. I contain a lot of my plot structures in my writing journal, then I do a lot of smaller ideas for different novels. The reason I do this is because keeping track of my plot, especially when I introduce new ideas, is the biggest struggle I have with writing. But overall, keeping a writer's journal is beneficial and rewarding for writers of all levels. Whether you are a beginner writer or a seasoned pro, having a writing journal will help you keep track of ideas, it will help you clarify thoughts, it will help you be more productive as a writer. And if you are thinking about starting a writing journal of your own, I do hope that this video gets you started. If you're interested in checking out some of my writing courses or my coaching program, there's a link to my writer's workshop in the description below. There's also a link to a free writing course on fantasy world building, should you want to check out my teaching methods first. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next episode of Writing Today. As always, good day, good night, and happy writing.